Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Justin, back at the movies for another review. Today we're going to be doing the 1980 horror classic, Friday the 13th. This is directed by Sean S. Cunningham and starred Adrienne King, Kevin Bacon, and Betsy Palmer. Now, spoiler alert, obviously Friday the 13th became synonymous with Jason Voorhees. However, the original Friday the 13th did not have Jason Voorhees as the iconic killer with a hockey mask. This wouldn't actually happen until part 3 when he acquires the iconic hockey mask. It is Betsy Palmer, who is Jason Voorhees' mother, who is actually the killer in this movie. She vows revenge for the campers that were watching her son, or supposed to be taking care of her son. They let him drown, and after this, she vows her revenge. Now, to me, you know, the Mount Rushmore of horror movies, Friday the 13th is on that Mount Rushmore. It's Friday the 13th, it's A Nightmare on Elm Street, it's Halloween, and it's Hellraiser. That's your 4 Mount Rushmore movies of the horror genre. I don't consider like zombie movies to be true horror movies, especially like George Romero, who I think his movies are more about satire than they are about being scared. But they're amazing movies, and they are in the horror genre, but I don't consider them to be horror movies. If I did, they're at least Dawn of the Dead would be on Mount Rushmore. But this movie's iconic. It's what's so great about this movie, and it's actually very different than really a lot of the other Friday the 13th movies, is the killer isn't revealed until the last third of the movie. You see the kills from the killer's perspective. So we don't know who the killer is until the end. That's what makes it so good. It's the suspense. Like, who's the killer? You know, I mean, does the movie have the traditional horror cliches, or what I think have become the traditional horror cliches? Of course. This movie and Halloween started the cliches. Don't go out in the woods by yourself. You're probably not coming back. Don't smoke weed, because you're probably going to die. If you've had sex, you're dead. And movies like Scream, they've made fun of this because every one of these movies used that as a template. Premarital sex, you're dead. Smoking weed, you're dead. You know, these are the rules that have been established in horror because of Friday the 13th and the likes of Halloween. The acting is, it's a bunch of younger kids. It's kind of silly. You don't really take any of them seriously, but they're kids. They're teenagers. I wouldn't expect everybody to be walking around in suits and thinking everything out rationally. That's not what happens in real life. So that's why I like movies like this, is because young kids are not going to be making rational decisions. To expect to go into a horror movie and expect teenagers to make rational decisions, what the hell are you thinking? When I was a teenager, I made stupid decisions. When you were a teenager, you made stupid decisions. That's what teenagers do. And that's why movies like this resonate. And that's why they withstand the test of time. This movie's 41 years old, but it's relatable. I don't have my mind on the most proper things when I'm a teenager, and neither did you, and neither does anybody else. That's what makes it so iconic. And of course, you have the likes of Kevin Bacon, who his career had just started off. He had been in a few movies, Animal House, and then, here he is, the legend that is Kevin Bacon. And that's a thing that I don't think a lot of people really understand is you get a tremendous amount of these top tier iconic actors who made their start in horror movies. You know, the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio in the Critters franchise, Kevin Bacon in Friday the 13th, Johnny Depp in A Nightmare on Elm Street, Neve Campbell in Scream. You know, she's an iconic actress, and Scream really put her on the map. Even somebody like Drew Barrymore, who was, you know, she was a child star, but, you know, Scream really was like a transition into serious adult roles for her. Horror movies breed stars. That's really all you need to say. I love Friday the 13th. Not as much as I love A Nightmare on Elm Street, not as much as I love Hellraiser, but it belongs on the Mount Rushmore of horror movies because it's an iconic horror movie. It has its flaws, like I said. Some of the casting, it's young people. I'm not expecting the greatest cast, but some of them, the cliches get a little too over the top. That's really the only thing that brings the score down. But that being said, I think it's a 7.7. I think it's an iconic horror movie. You're not going to find horror movies that really top 8s very often. But 7.7 is a great score, especially for a horror movie. So that's the score I'm going to go with. That's my review. 1980s Friday the 13th. 7.7 all day. Please go back and watch some of my other videos. I think you might enjoy them. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you guys later. Take care.